أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم وفقنا وسائر المشتغلين للعلم والعمل الصالح بحق محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم والعن عدوهم. أعظم الله لكم الأجر بذكرى أربعينية الإمام الحسين صلوات الله وسلامه عليه، ونسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يكتبنا ممن خدم الحسين وممن خدم زوار الحسين، وأن يكتبنا من جند الإمام المهدي الطالبين بثأر الإمام الحسين صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his progeny said, "The believer are brothers. Their blood is co-equal, and they are one hand against others. The most inferior among them is empowered by their protection of him." قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله: المؤمنون إخوة تتكافأ دماؤهم وهم يد على من سواهم يسعى بذمتهم أدناهم. Definitely the mu'mins, the believers, they are brothers from the same mother and the same father. This is the Prophet, he said, that the mu'mins, they are brothers from the same mother and the same father. Okay. With Islamic laws, we reach to the issues of ablution. The ablution, what does it mean, ablution? Wudu. Wudu, it is an introduction to the salah. It is a kind of tahara, purification, that makes you ready or available to do or perform your worship acts. Without ablution, you cannot perform your salah. Without ablution, you cannot touch the script of the Holy Quran. Without ablution, you cannot go around Kaaba when you are muhrim, either in Hajj Akbar or in Hajj Tamattu or in Umrah. So ablution is very important. With ablution, this is the introduction. Ablution itself, it is not obligatory. Ablution itself, it is not obligatory. Though that salah, it is obligatory, but ablution is not obligatory. But can you pray without ablution? You cannot. You cannot. Huh? It is not obligatory. But you cannot perform your salah. Ablution itself, it is not obligatory. So we said in usul, we said muqaddimat al-wajib, wajib. So ablution itself, it's not obligatory, but when it becomes as introduction or as a beginning for salah, it will be what? It will be obligatory. Is this understood, inshallah? Number one. Number two, by ablution it means to wash and to wipes. The first wash is washing the face. The second wash, the hands from the elbow till the tips of the fingers. And the wipe is the head, the frontal part of the head. And the other wipe is the upper part of your feet. By wash, we need water reach to all the parts of the skin that's supposed to be or that's involved in washing. You cannot leave a small dot. Pay attention to this. You cannot leave a small dot without wash. even just like a small, like the pen, you know the head of the pen, ras al-dabbus, if it left without wash, without being water on it, your ablution, your wudu is what? Is void. So it is very important. Take care of it. Some people, they do not take care. Yes, for example, I have to wash my face, but not all of my face. It is only the part that my middle finger and thumb goes around them, while the rest is not obligatory. But in order to check and to be sure that this or these limits are in the washing parts, what shall I do? I should wash extra. I should wash extra in order to be checked that these parts are what? Are washed. Alright. The ablution. Wudu. Issue number 241. In wudu, it is obligatory to wash the face and hands. To wash face and to wash hands. And to wipe the front portion of the head and the upper part of 2 feet. Here it is what we have to do in ablution, the general lines of ablution: to wash the face and the hands, and to wipe the upper part of the head and the upper part of your feet. Inshallah, we will discuss it in details. Issue number 242. The length of the face should be washed from the upper part of the forehead. Where is your forehead? Pay attention, look at me, all of you, look at me. Forehead is these imaginary lines between the, what we call the hajib? Eyebrows. Yes, the eyebrows. Right here, these lines, this is your forehead. This is your forehead, okay? This part we call it jabeen. This part we call it jabha, or masjid. So all this. From where it is its beginning. It is the upper part where the hair starts to grow up. Definitely I do not have hair. I'm bald man, unluckily to say this, but I like it. So how can I mention where is exactly to start wash my face? Since that I am bald, I have to look what? To the normal people. For example, Ali Matrud. I have to look at him. Why? Because he has hair on his head. I have to look what are the limits on his head, okay, from where they start, and I imagine that I have head right here, and then wash the rest. Absolutely, we should look for the normal persons and to make these limits. The length of the face should be washed from the upper part of the forehead. Exactly, if I remove my turban right here, this is the upper part. If I look to the other person who is normal with his head, I will see that he has head from here. So this is the beginning of my face. This is the beginning of my face. When I start to wash, I cannot go over there. No. It is from here up to the chin. From here up to the chin. I have to mention this. I have to put this in consideration, the limits. Where hair grows up to the farthest end of the chin. The farthest end of the chin is right here. This point, it is the farthest end of the chin. Okay? And its breadth, al-urud, be washed to the part covered between the thumb and the middle finger. This is the thumb and this is the middle finger. If I start from the forehead, look, there will be what? Some parts from my face are not covered by the middle part or the thumb. These parts. So these parts are not obligatory to be washed. I'm saying, not obligatory to be washed. But I will wash them because of what? In order to be sure that the needed parts are involved, are washed, are included. Is this understood? If even a small part of this area is left out, as I said, just a small dot, left out, wudu will be void. Wudu will be void. So it is very important to be sure. Thus, in order to ensure that the prescribed part has been fully washed, all the parts, one should also wash a bit of the adjacent parts. Why we should wash the adjacent part? You know what's the meaning of the adjacent parts? The adjacent, أي الأماكن المجاورة الملاصقة يعني like this. So I have to wash this. Why I have to wash this? In spite this area or this part from this side or the other side are not obligatory to wash them, but I have to wash them in order to be sure that the needed parts, the needed limits are what are involved. Issue number 243. If the hands or the face of a person are larger or smaller, as you just said, than normal. We see some people, their hands are so big. Sometimes their faces are big or so small. So what they can do, they are bald just like me. I have to look to whom? To the normal people and wash as they wash. He should observe how people normally wash their faces and follow accordingly. Also, if he has hair on part of his forehead or the frontal part of his head is bald, he should wash his forehead as is usually washed by the people. Issue number 244. If a person suspects that there is dirt or something else in the eyebrows, dirts which prevent water from reaching the skin. If he suspects, that the mukallaf suspects that there is dirt or something else in the eyebrows and corners of his eyes, it happens in the morning when we woke up. شو نقول هذا عليه ذقن مو احنا نسميه ذقن بعد ما ادري المثقفين شو يسمونه in the corner of the eyes or sometimes in the corner of the lips and on his lips, which does not permit water to reach them. And if that suspicion is reasonable, he has a suspicion, he is not sure. If he is sure, he should remove it. If that suspicion is reasonable, why we call it is reasonable? I just woke in the morning, so if I suspect there is some dirt on the corner of my eyes, this is a reasonable suspicion or not? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. He should examine it before performing wudu. I should what? I should check. I should clean. All right? And remove any such thing if it is there. Should remove anything if it is there. Issue number 245. If the skin of the face is visible from under the hair, one should make the water reach the skin. But it is not visible. But if it is not visible, it is sufficient to wash the hair, and it is not necessary to make the water reach beneath the hair. If you look at me, my face, I have two parts of hair on my face. There are little hair on my cheek. So I can see what? I can see the skin under the hair right here. Maybe the eyebrows. And also I have hair on my beard. My beard, it is what? It is very thick. We cannot see what? The skin beneath it. When I want to wash this area, I have to check out that the water is reaching to hold what? To hold the parts of the skin under this. Why? Because the hair is very little and I can see the skin. While here, the skin beneath the beard, I do not need to what? To let the water goes inside the skin. Just need to wash what? Just need to wash the hair. That's it. Is this clear? You have a question? Issue number 246. If a person doubts, please, if you have a question, ask me. If you have a question, ask me, please. If a person doubts whether his skin is visible from under the hair of the face or not, he is not sure that the hair or the skin is visible from under the hair or not. He is doubting. He should, as an obligatory precaution, wash his hair and also make the water reach the skin. So he has to do both, to wash the hair and also let the water reach to where? Reach to the skin. Definitely a person, when he is doubting that the skin is visible or not, what does that mean? That means his hair is not what? Is not so much. So he is just like the teenagers, the young men, okay? When they have their beard just grow up. You see, it is not so long hair. So they need to wash the hair as well as what? The skin together. Issue number 247. While performing wudu, it is not obligatory that one should wash the inner parts of the nose, nor of the lips and eyes, which cannot be seen when they close. Some parts, we cannot say that these parts, are they from the inner parts or they are from the outside parts of the body. Like what? Like the inside of the nose, inside of the ear, inside of the lips. But here, Sayyid Sistani, he gave us a rule. When they close, you cannot see them. Like the line right here, in my lips, the line. هذا الخط اللي موجود لما الشفة ما له علاقة بالشفة الداخلية، يعني أقصد هذا الخط اللي موجود بالشفة العليا وبالشفة السفلى. تمام؟ شو يسموه هذه؟ شو يسمونه؟ الجفن. تمام؟ الأذن هنا. What should I say? Are they from the inner parts or from the outside parts of the body? In this case, it is not important to wash them. When you close your lips, it is not important to wash them. While performing wudu, it is not obligatory that one should wash the inner parts of the nose, nor of the lips and eyes, which cannot be seen when they close. However, in order to ensure that all parts have been washed, it is obligatory that some portion of these parts, like the inner parts of nose, lips, and eyes, are also included. For that, what we say when you make your ablution, try to take your time. Do not be in a hurry. And it is recommended that when you are performing your ablution to recite Surah Al-Kursi, Inna Anzalnahu, and 3 times Qul Huwallahu Ahad. Why? Because while you are reciting, you are going to take your time to be sure that all parts of your face, all parts of your hands have been what? Have been washed. I saw some people many times when they perform their ablution, they do not care. They just drop water on their face like that, ma'as salama. Then they washed up to here and ma'as salama. That's it. How it comes? Your wudu is not valid. As a result, your salah is what? Is void. And if a person did not know how much of the face should be washed and does not remember whether he has washed his face thoroughly in wudu already performed, his prayer will be valid. This suspect where? This suspect when? After performing wudu. After performing wudu, he doesn't know that did I wash all my face thoroughly, all of it? Maybe I forgot something. No, we say your wudu is what? Your wudu is valid. Your wudu is valid. You do not need to go over it again. And there will be no need to do fresh wudu for the ensuing prayer. That means also after the prayer itself. You perform your wudu and you perform your salah, and after salah you just sit and think, did I perform my wudu in a right way or not? In this way we'll say, no, your wudu is valid and you do not need to what? To renew your salah or your abu. But how about the next salah? The next step, you should renew your wudu. Issue number 248. The face and hands should be washed from above downwards, and if one washed the opposite way, his wudu will be void. Now, if you look here, this is the hand. It is from the elbow till the tips of your fingers. Okay? If you want to wash, you should include the elbow and the end of the tips of your hand. When you drop water, you should drop it from up towards the tips, not vice versa, not the opposite. If you make like this, the Sunni people, they do that. I'm not talking about them. They follow their sect. If you do like this, if you put water from the other side, the opposite side, your wudu is what? Is batil, is void. Okay? And you need not to start from this point, at least upper little bit upper in order to ensure من باب المقدمة العلمية, as I told you, in order to be sure that the needed parts are what? Are included. Are included, yes. Huh? Yes, not as a precaution, not as a precaution. No, he doesn't say as a precaution. But in order to sure that the needed parts are what? احنا ما عندنا فد مقياس، ما عندنا فد مسطرة ونقول هذه خلاص أنا غسلتها بالمليم. فحتى مو من باب الاحتياط وإنما من باب المقدمة العلمية. ما الثانية من باب الاحتياط، الثانية من باب المقدمة العلمية. The face and hands should be washed from the above downwards, and if one washed the opposite way, his wudu will be void. So, from up downwards and from up downwards. Issue number 249. 250? Just listen, I'm following. If one pour water from down and wash from above, like he drops water from down, just like this, from down, the water from down, that means the water comes from the chin up to where? Up to the forehead. Then, and wash from above with the help of his hand. احنا تصير عندنا شايفين مرات شو نسوي؟ نذب مي وش نسوي له هيك؟ هاي الدورة هاي منين هسه انا جبتها؟ من جوا وسويتها هيك. هذه خطأ لو صحيح؟ احنا بدنا نسولف عن هذه. واضح؟ ذب مي وبعدين شو نسوي؟ هيك. هسه هاي المنطقة ايش بيها؟ انزل من الفورهيد سويتها هيك. هاي الدورة. If one pour water from down and wash from above with the help of his hand, it will be sufficient. Enough. It will be sufficient. كافي. ماكو مشكلة عندنا. Valid. It means valid. It is not enough to pass only his hand on the pouring place with the intention of ablution. Look, it is not enough to pass only his hand on the pouring place with the intention of ablution. There should be enough quantity of water to wash as common. What does that mean? Sometimes there is only a few drops on the skin, on your hand. And you pass what? You pass your hand on it. That doesn't make, we do not call it what? A wash. A wash, it needs water. It needs water, enough water. I don't want so much water, too much water. No, the common water, just we call it that you wash. But you have small drops and you wipe or wash by the other hand. This is not called what? This is not called a wash. You have this issue in your book? Good. Issue number 250. After washing the face, one should first wash the right hand and then, look, should. This is a vertical word. Should. This is a vertical word. That means if you do the opposite or not following this, your ablution will be void. After washing the face, you should wash what? The right hand. After washing the face, one should first wash the right hand and then the left hand from the elbows to the tips of the fingers. From the elbows to the tips of the fingers. Issue number 251. In order to ensure that each elbow has been washed thoroughly, one should include some portion above the elbow in washing. Some portion. We do not mention 4 fingers or 5 fingers or 3 fingers. Some portion. والبعض سيقول 4 أصابع. منين جبتوا ال4 أصابع؟ احنا قلنا the adjacent parts, some portion. We did not mention the 4 fingers or lesser or more. Issue number 252. Before washing his face, a person has washed his hands up to the wrist. Before washing the face, a person is washing what? Is washing his hands up to the wrist. You know the wrist? What we call it in Ma'sam? Rasul. Okay. If before washing his face, a person has washed his hands up to the wrist, he should, while performing wudu, wash them up to the tips of the fingers. And if he washed them only up to the wrist, his wudu is void. Why? Sayyid Sistani and most of the ulama, they insist on this issue because most of the people before wudu they wash their hands, and when they start their ablution they just wash their ablution, they drop water and they wipe it up to here. So they do not wash what? They do not wash their hands. Why? Because they said we already washed them. That wash, it is not part from wudu. Yes, it is recommended. It is recommended to wash your hands, to wash your face, to rinse your mouth. It is recommended. But it is not a part of wudu. So if you do so, that means just to wash your arm without washing your hand, your wudu is what? Is void. Issue number 253 will come next week, inshallah. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajjal.